Okay. Now here, what I'm doing, just kept a loop here while true x is 0. It is going to assign 0 continuously. It never reaches to this point, so the page will not be getting served. And here it's continuously waiting for the server response. Okay, so since the loop is not ending, what is happening here? The content is not coming up for us. It's not sending any content because the loop is continuously running here. Suppose if I comment this part here, or I remove here this one. Okay, save this now. Once again, I try to, stop this one. Then again, I make a request. So I need to run here again because earlier thing is running. So let me run this. After that, now what happened in this case? I got the response. Even if you go here very quickly, you can get response. If you open another tab also, you can get same thing. Localhost 5000, immediately you are going to get response. So once response you got, connection is getting actually closed. Okay, so this is what is hypertext transfer protocol. Okay, so HTTP follows a classical client-server model with the client opening a connection to make a request, then waiting until it receives a response from the server, which is a stateless protocol, meaning that the server does not keep any session data between two requests. Although the later addition of cookies adds state to some client-server interaction. So there is a concept called cookies. With the help of cookies, you can maintain the state, but by default, it doesn't have any state. State meaning is what? Server is not going to remember about the client and client is not going to remember about the server. So this is what here a stateless protocol. This is called as here stateless protocol. You can maintain state using either cookies or using tokens. With the help of that, we can maintain the state. But by default, it is actually a stateless protocol. It's called as stateless protocol. Just go through this document, try to understand whatever I here gave. So try to understand the concepts of actually like browser as well as server. What is exactly hypertext transfer protocol? What are the different versions of HTTP? So try to understand. This is very, very important. Okay. So many of us, without knowing all these things, we use browsers, we use web applications. Okay. If you're an end user, that's okay. But if you want to become a developer, you need to know all the things. As an end user, we need not know anything. For example, even take a TV. So in the case of TV, you may have a remote and you have a TV. By using remote, you're turning on TV, you're turning off TV. Okay, your end user, you need not know. But if you are an electronics engineer, okay, particularly if you are working with the TV domain, television domain, okay, particularly in the manufacturing sector, so in such case, you need to know internally how things work. Okay, what screen is, what is vertical scanning, what is horizontal scanning, what is extra high tension transformer inside that you have. Okay, and similarly, what is tuning in that case? So how to change frequencies, what is frequency, you need to know all the things. In the same manner, being a web application developer, we have to know all the details internally, how things are working. Many of they are doing without knowing all these things, but that is not actually a good practice. So without knowing all the things, if you try to develop applications, you are developing application with half knowledge. So you have to know all the inner details. Then you can be a perfect engineer in that case. Okay, so we may develop applications at very high level. Okay, even these days, without coding also, no coding tools you have, with the help of that, you can develop application. But internally, when something is going wrong, you will not be in a position to identify. So that's why each and everything you need to understand. People think that creating a web page is easy, but understanding the intricacies behind the web page is difficult. So in that case, you need to first of all understand what is this HTTP protocol. Okay, how internally it's working. So in this, what are sessions, what are cookies, you need to understand. What is actually like cross domain. So all these you need to understand. So in that series today, I shared actually first document. Tomorrow I'll share, with more details about the HTTP protocol. In the second document, you can find more and more information. But just go through this document, try to understand. If you can't follow somewhere something, in that case, you can actually ping me on the WhatsApp or you just send me an email. I shared my email ID. You can even send to that. Okay. So what is request? What is response? Whenever you go with a web page, what is happening? You can understand from that. So here, if you go with this page, now if you come to this point here, they try to like here, developer tools. With the help of this, even you can debug. You go with the sources. Okay, so source content you can see here. This is console. With the help of console, you can print something on this with the help of the JavaScript. Okay, you have various elements in this case. What are these elements? You can understand. So this is basically for debugging we can use. So what is application here? How much memory is used? How can you measure performance? All these you can find here using the developer tools. It is available with the Internet Explorer, available with Edge, available with Mozilla Firefox, available with even the Chrome. So I'm using Chrome. I like to use Chrome more and more. So because of that, I've opened the Chrome and I'm showing here. Okay, so this way you need to understand what are happening behind the scenes. When you make a request, what is happening? When you get response, what is happening? You should understand. This is very, very important. Okay, so this is what is in the last session, we created a form, we submitted data. Today, I am going to show what is favy icon. Okay, it's called as favorite icon. So how to set the favorite icon? See here. I have seen here some student.html, this page I have. So I'm setting here like image X icon, href equal to static favy icon, but this is not properly working. In the Flask, you need to have certain settings. So instead of that, I can show in some other area how it works. This is HTML examples. Okay, so here we have few things. I go with the index here. When I go with the index, it is coming up in this manner. Okay, similarly, if I go with the home, okay, you can see here favy icon. This is called as here favy icon. It is called as here favy icon. You have an icon here. Okay, so this is an icon which comes to the left of the title. This is called as here title. If you look at the document, the home document, open like this. Okay, so here you can find the favy icon. Link rel equal to icon, type equal to image slash x icon, followed by href equal to image slash favy icon.ico. And this is here title. Title is very important for SEO. For search engine optimization, you should have the title. And with this, you can show favorite icon. So for your website, you may have icon that can be called as your favorite icon. So that icon you have to show here. Okay, so once again, if you see here, you can find some icon here. You can see some icon. So like this, you need to set your icon. That is called as your favy icon. So here, just to the left of the title we have. If you once again see, title is what? First HTML example. This is what exactly? First HTML example. Okay. And to the left of that, you have the icon here. Favy icon you have in this. So like this, you can put the favy icon. So link rel equal to icon, type equal to image, oblique, x icon, followed by href equal to image slash favicon.ico. So I'm keeping in the images folder that particular icon. So this icon is kept in the which folder? In the images folder, in the root of the application. So this is the root of the application. In the root of the application, I created here images folder. In the images folder, I kept it and I can refer using this mechanism. href equal to images slash favicon.ico. Okay, so this is what exactly link. So link rel equal to icon. Sometimes rel equal to style sheet we use, but here we are using rel equal to icon. Okay, in some of the sessions we have seen, we are trying to load external style sheet. In such case, we have used the link href equal to CSS file, then rel equal to style sheet. But here, this is what it's an icon. We are loading icon here. So this is called as here favy icon. Okay, so you can set a favy icon in this manner. I request all of you to create similar documents. You can have practical experience with that. So just if you understand this will not be enough, you need to practice, you need to create on your own also such pages. Okay, so now this is what it is favy icon I created. You can see that here. When you go to the browser, in the browser, you can find it. Fine. So next example, what we discuss is, if you look at last session's code, we have result.html, similarly student.html. These we have. Now I want to introduce you JavaScript. We have seen how HTML is working. Then similarly, how to style the elements we know. The next thing is here, working with the JavaScript. Okay, we come back to the HTML tags again. We come back to CSS again. But overall idea, first of all, I am giving. Okay, so first, how we use HTML tags. Next thing is how to use the styling. The third thing is going to be how to make it interactive. Okay, how to make it interactive. That part I am going to show now. So for this purpose, I am going to create some other page. Okay, this is going to be not part of Python, but it is outside the scope of Python I am going to create. Okay, so I just close this here, the browser I close. Then here I launch, you can close folder in the bottom. Okay, then here examples, this folder I open. In that case, you find here many such HTML files. Okay, now I create here another file, HTML with JavaScript. Okay, JavaScript is very, very important. When you work with any front-end framework like jQuery, React.js, or AngularJS, you depend heavily on the JavaScript. Okay, so here now we are going to look into JavaScript basics. First thing is here, doc type declaration. The next thing here, HTML. Okay, followed by head. Then we have body. If we can create automatically those things using boilerplate, that would be good. Okay, so here I'm trying to create a new HTML page in which I would like to use JavaScript. Okay. So script you can write either in the header part or in the body. Wherever you want to write, you can write. So let me use here a script tag. With the help of that, I want to write some JavaScript. Okay. So when you work with JavaScript, first of all, we look into some dialog boxes. JavaScript has some predefined dialog boxes. One is alert. Next one is here confirm. One more is here. It is prompt. These three types of dialog boxes we have. Alert means it just displays message. When we talk about confirm, either yes or no. Okay, we get often the dialog boxes. For example, you open a file, you open Word document, you write something in the Word document. After that, without saving, when you try to close, it gives you confirmation dialogues. Do you want to save it or not? In the same manner, we have here confirm dialog box. One more is prompt dialog box. With the help of that, you can give input. Okay, so first of all, we discuss about these three dialog boxes. They are part of actually JavaScript. And you can do commenting in the JavaScript using // Okay, commenting here, come to Notepad. Commenting in HTML. Okay, first one, HTML commenting. So for that, you have to use this syntax, followed by your comment. Then you can end this. So this is start part of comment and this is end part of comment. Whenever you put something in these two tags, the browser is going to ignore. It doesn't bother about that. Okay. Whenever you want to make your document readable, in that case, you need to put the comments. Commenting is very important. Suppose you create various sections. Why you are creating each and every section, you can show in comments. Okay. commenting in the coding is very important, whether it's HTML, CSS, or JavaScript, you need to have this commenting. Okay, this is exactly commenting in HTML document. With hypertext elements, you can have this type of commenting. Now, next thing is CSS commenting. Okay, CSS commenting. In the case of CSS, you can have a comment like this, slash star followed by star slash. Like this, you need to have the commenting in the comment in the CSS. Okay, for example, see here. Okay, I go to the header part. In the header part, I can put a comment like this. This is header section. This is header section. Similarly, I may have some style here. A style tag I have here. So I want to go with some comment. Suppose paragraph you take here. Paragraph, I type here color followed by here it is like black. Followed by I want to put some comment. I can put comment like this. Defines for color of the paragraph. Like this, you need to put the comment. This is for CSS commenting. This is for HTML commenting, and this is for CSS commenting. Whenever you create a CSS document, if you want to put any comment, you can put like this. Okay, next thing is JavaScript commenting. Here, this is what single line comment, and you can have even multi-line comment like this. Star, this part is meant for, okay, and I can go into next line for JavaScript code. Then I can end here star slash. So this is exactly multi-line comment, and this is single line comment. You can have only one line comment here. Okay, but here you can span multiple comment lines here. So this is called as multi-line commenting, and this is called as single line commenting. Okay, in the HTML commenting, you don't have any multi-line, only single line, but same thing you can extend to multiple lines. Here also same thing in the CSS. So these three types of comments you have to use whenever you create a HTML document, because your HTML document may contain CSS, it may contain HTML, it may contain the JavaScript. So depending on the section, you have to use different types of comments. Comments improve readability of your code. When somebody is going through your code, they can easily understand why you have created the document, okay, why you created elements, or why you defined the CSS, or why you have written the JavaScript. So commenting is going to improve the readability. When you write any code, it should be very simple. Others should in a position to understand without difficulty. So that is called as good coding. But these days, people write very complex code. Others find very difficult to understand that. It's really not good coding. It's very, very bad coding. Whatever you write, that should be easily understood. Okay, it should be easily understood by others. Because if you join in a company as a developer, you may not be lasting with the company forever. Okay, after 1 or 2 years, you may go to another company. But whatever you created is going to be working for a longer time. It may be up to some 10 years, 15 years. So it's going to work. Virtually, you are going to work. Okay, when somebody is coming in your place, if they can't understand what you have written, then that's called bad code. So, I mean, to make your code neat, clean, and better, you have to put comments. Okay, whether it is HTML or CSS or JavaScript or Python code or C# code, whatever it is, you have to put the comments. So with comments, people can understand why you are writing that particular piece of code. Now come to JavaScript. Very first thing is what alert. Alert is going to simply display message for the end user. With alert, end user can get a message. Okay, so with alert, simply end user is going to get some message. So for that purpose, we use the alert. Here, let me create here some alert dialog. Okay, then here, welcome to JavaScript. Welcome to JavaScript. So this is alert dialog. It is called as here alert dialog. when you start running this, automatically before the page is loading, this is going to be showing first us. So this dialog box is going to be shown to us. Let us go to this and try to run the page. So what is the page exactly? The page is HTML with JavaScript. It is showing us welcome to JavaScript. Okay. And the document gets loaded from top to bottom. Okay. So immediately what happens? This HTML is getting loaded, head, then script. Immediately what happens? This alert also is going to be loaded and then it gets executed immediately. Before the other part of the document is loaded, this gets loaded and get executed. And JavaScript is what? Interpreter. Line by line, it's going to execute. It's not any compiler, it's an interpreter. Line by line, it's going to execute. So as soon as you encounter this, it is going to be getting executed. What we have written alert, welcome to JavaScript. So this is coming up here. This is called as alert dialog. Okay, it's called as alert dialog. So what's the specialty of this? You have only one button here, OK button. We don't have multiple buttons. We have just only one button. It is OK. So user doesn't have any choice to choose yes or no. Whatever message is coming from system that you need to accept, and to dismiss this window, you need to click on the OK button. When you click on the OK, this is going to be getting dismissed. Okay, that means it disappears. Dismissed meaning is here, it is getting disappeared. So this is what alert dialog. So often we use this alert dialog depending on the requirement. Next dialog is here, confirm. Okay, so here we are going to have some confirm dialog. How it works, see. I am going to declare a variable using var keyword. Okay, using var keyword, I can declare a variable, but I need not specify any type here. So this is not strongly typed language. Okay, JavaScript is not strongly typed language. Okay, here you can, it is not a statically typed language, dynamically typed language. Depending on the data, the type of the variable can change. Types means what? You have numbers, okay, you have strings, then similarly, you may have date and time, you may have true or false value, like that you have. So here I'm declaring a variable where some x, this is nothing but variable name, x equal to, here I go with the confirm. Okay, confirm. Do you want to continue? Here I put something like this. Do you want to continue here? Do you want to continue? So in such case, what happens? It is going to show here yes or no. Okay, okay, cancel. Like that, it's going to show us. When you click on the okay, it is going to be true. When you click on the like no or yes or no. So when you click on the no, it can be false. When you click on the yes, it's going to be true, like that you get. And that I'm going to show in the console. So what I write here, console.log. With the help of console.log, I can show it on the console. So how do we get console? I show. And you need to end the statements using semicolon. In the JavaScript, it's not mandatory, but if you put semicolon, that is good. So semicolon is saying you that it is end of the line. Okay, now I created here one more dialog. It's called as confirm. When I launch page, first it shows welcome to JavaScript. Then what it says here, do you want to continue? Okay, do you want to continue? You get that dialog. But the difference is what? In the welcome to JavaScript, you have only one button, but when you go with the confirm, you have two buttons. Either you can continue or you can cancel. So there is nothing like cancellation in this case, just example I'm showing here. Okay, now here try to once again launch it. We are getting welcome to JavaScript. Okay, then what is happening here? Do you want to continue? Okay or cancel? Now let me come to this part, go to developer tools here. Okay, and in this, I go with the console. Now nothing is getting printed, but as soon as I click on the OK, what happens? It should print here message. It is printing for us true message. It is printing for us true. So once again, let us launch this page. I go with OK, then I go with the cancel. In the case of cancel, what is printing here? False is getting printed. Okay, so once again, see here, this alert is having only one button, but when you go with the confirm, it is having two buttons. One is OK, other one is cancel. When you click on the OK, it is true. When you click on the cancel, it is false. So this is what Boolean type of data, true or false. When you click on the OK, that means true. And when you click on the cancel, it is false. So like that, you can take two values, either OK or cancel. So whenever you want to have a choice, whether, you have written some piece of code, whether you want to continue or not, in such case, you can go with that. I even show programmatically how that works. But right now you assume this much. So prompt is, this confirm is basically to choose a choice, either yes or no. In such case, you can use the confirm. So when you go with the, okay, what is happening here? It is true, but when you go with the cancel, it is false. In the alert, you have only okay, but when it comes to the confirm, you have two buttons. One is okay button, other one is cancel button. Okay means true, cancel is going to be false. When you click on the cancel, you can print here, you can see the printed one, it is false. This is called as your console. We call this as your console. On the console, you can print. This is useful in debugging. Okay, instead of using alerts or alert on the web page, you can print here in the console with the help of the console.log. So using console.log, I am printing here. Okay, so like this here it is working, both confirm and alert. These two are predefined dialogues available with the JavaScript. Okay, so these two are the dialogues. Now next one is prompt. Okay, I go here with this. Now x equal to, okay, other thing is you have here var x, and what type of data it is, let us see. Here, okay, not here, this is fine. Now I come to this point here, then console.log. What type of data x is I want to find? So therefore, I type here type of. With the help of type of, I can find here what type of data that is. When I say console.log type of x, it can print the type of data. Now, next thing what I do, I want to use the prompt here. X equal to prompt. Okay, followed by here, I need to specify here. Enter a number or enter a word or sentence, whatever it is. So by default, I want to have here welcome. I want to have by default welcome. So what kind of dialog it displays? See, first one is alert, second thing is confirm, then third one is here, third one is what? Prompt. Okay, now go with this console.log once again. Here try to print x. Okay, then here once again we need to put semicolons, they are important. Okay, here also we put semicolon. Next thing is here we go here, then try to once again print console.log type of here x. Once again we use this type of x. So with this you can find the type of the data. So x is here nothing but variable. Initially we have a true or false value. That must be what type of data? Boolean type of data. Then we enter here. So when you go with the prompt, it is returning here a string value. It's going to return a string value. Okay, so it is going to be printing string. Then you can find here it as string type. So x type is changing here. Initially we had in this case Boolean type of data. Next it is here string type of data. So that means what type is type is inferred dynamically. When you assign a value, in that case you are going to get the type for the given variable. So variable name is what here? X is the variable name. Okay, here first I have gone with the alert, then I have gone with the confirm. After that I am using the here prompt. Now come to this and again see here. Welcome to JavaScript we got. Then here it is, do you want to continue? I just say okay. So it is printing true, then followed by Boolean. Now you have the prompt. So in the prompt I enter, this is like JavaScript. Okay, click on OK here. Now what it says, string type of data. Variables, it's same variable, basically. X is the same variable, but what is happening in this case, type is getting changed. Initially Boolean type of data, later on it is here. What type of data? String type of data. So like this, dynamically type is getting changed. Type is getting inferred depending on the available data. Here we had Boolean type of data, okay, but here it is string type of data. So that's why JavaScript is called as dynamically typed language. It's not statically typed language, it is dynamically typed language. For example, take C language. In the C language, first you need to define type. Okay, so once you define a type, the type you cannot change. If you try to use for the C language or C sharp, if you try to change, if you try to assign different type of data, in that case it gives error. So that also I demonstrate here how that happens. Just launch here Visual Studio. Here I create a console application. In the console application, I show you that. Okay, so here console application. Next, this is my app. Click on the next here, then create. Okay, so something like this we have here. Automatically this is created for us. I remove this, then write int x equal to some 100. Okay, I try to print here console dot some right line. Then here it is x. I'm trying to print x here. Then I try to change the x type of data here. X equal to some welcome. If I put, it's going to give error for me here. Because this is statically typed data. X, what type of data it can accept in this case? Only numeric data, the two integer data. But what I'm doing here, I'm trying to assign a string to here, to this x variable. So it does not accept. C sharp or C or C++ or Go language, they are statically typed languages. Types are static. But when you work with Python, JavaScript, they are here dynamically typed language. So to the same variable, we can assign different type of data. Here, once I declared x variable as integer type of data, I assigned here value 100. Later on, if I try to change it to some string, it's not accepting. So that means it is actually statically typed language. But if you come to here, the JavaScript, what is happening? Here I can assign a Boolean value initially. Later on, I'm assigning here string. Again, I can assign here some other value. X equal to, I can put 100 here. Even 100 is accepted. Again, try to print here the values and see what happens here. So what type of data it's going to print here, you can see. So come to this again, refresh. Okay, I say okay here, then I enter Java. I click on OK. Then here, first thing is Boolean, second thing is string here, third one is number. To the same variable, we are assigning different type of data. So that's why JavaScript is called as dynamically typed language. Okay, it is called as dynamically typed language. So using var keyword, you can declare a variable. Okay, you can using a var keyword, you can declare a variable. So once you declare a variable, you can assign any type of data. And here I have like this var x here. I can put simply var x. I may not assign any data, but I can declare var x. So in such case, this is called as undefined. X value is what exactly? It is now undefined. There is no data in that. So X is what in this case undefined. If you go with the type of data, it says here undefined. So just go here and try to print. What do you get? See here in this. Okay, what is printed here? Undefined is printed already. Then you have true, you have then string. Next thing is what here? Number. First thing Boolean, next time is what? String, after that number. So like this, we are changing the data of the given variable dynamically. So that's why we call it as dynamically typed variable. Okay, but here what we do, we have declared a variable, we haven't associated any particular data to the variable. That's why it is called as undefined. So what type of data, what type of variable it is, it does not know there because you haven't assigned any value. So that's why it is called as undefined. You have a variable, but that is what? Undefined variable. Okay, where x is fine. So when exactly the variable, whenever you have some data in the variable, in that case, it can say about its type. But what I'm trying to do here, I'm trying to print the type of the data. So in that case, it says it as undefined. Variable is available, but what type of data, what type of variable it is, that is not defined clearly. So that's why it is printing as undefined. Type of X, when you say, it is nothing but here undefined. There is no data associated with that. That's why it cannot infer about the type information of the given variable. So it prints it as here undefined. But here next what we do, we are assigning a value, Boolean value. So that's why it says here Boolean type of data. Later on, we are trying to enter some data here. So this is going to be, by default, it takes welcome. If you don't enter anything, it takes welcome. But when you enter some data, that comes into variable X. So it is going to be string type of data. Later on, I am changing it to 100, X equal to 100. So this time it prints 100, then it's going to print. So what type of data this is? It is a numeric type of data. So like this, it is printing here. So first thing is Boolean, then string and number. Okay, so Java, like other languages, JavaScript also has different types of numbers. It is called, sorry, different type of data. It is going to be here numeric, then string, date, Boolean, and other thing is here object. These are the types of data available. And one more thing is here nan, okay, not a number. So these types of data you have in the JavaScript. Numeric, string, date, Boolean, object, and one more thing is here nan. Nan stands for not a number. NaN we have, it's called as nan. So like this, these are the types of data available with the JavaScript. Again, when you look into numeric, when we talk about numeric, so numeric can be here either absolute or approximate. Okay, absolute, and other one is here approximate. So what is absolute? Absolute can be like 10 is an absolute number, 30 is an absolute number, 100 is an absolute number. But if you go with the 10 by 3, it's not absolute, or 20 by 6 is not absolute, or 100 by 3 is not absolute here. In the same way, if you go with 22 by 7, even this is not absolute. Why 100 by 10 by 3 is not absolute? If you keep on dividing 10 by 3, you get continuously 3.3333 like that. It never ends. Similarly, when you go with the 20 by 6, in that case, if you keep on dividing the 6, you get actually this as 3.333 continuously, you get like that. When you go with 100 by 3 also, you get 33.3333 continuously, you are going to get in that manner. When you take 100 by 3 here. Okay, so that's why here what is happening? They never end. That's why it is called as approximate. That means after decimal point up to certain digits only you can take, because there is an endless number. Even if you take 22 by 7, same thing happens in that case. Same thing is going to happen in the case of 22 by 7. So therefore, they are called as here approximate, not absolute numbers. They are not absolute, they are going to be approximate. Okay, when you talk about numeric, you have two types. One is absolute, other one is here approximate. Similarly, we have a string. Okay, when we talk about string type of data, string is something defined like this. Whatever you put in double quotes, okay, ABC, or whatever you put in single quote, this can be called as a string. Either you can use single quote or you can use double quotes to represent a string. String is nothing but array of characters. You can think it as array of characters. Array meaning is what? One by one characters, when you arrange, you get some data. So that is called as here string. So string you can define in this manner. ABC, ABC here. So in double quotes you can put, or in single quotes you can put. Next thing is here date type of data. So with this you can get the date and time. Both you can get with the help of the date time. Similarly, when you go with the Boolean here, Boolean is going to be either true or false. You can have these values, either true or false values. Okay. Similarly, object means, okay, an object is something like this. For example, you want to define here a point. I write here where point equal to, I may define something like this here, x equal to 10, y equal to 20. This is called as here object. Okay, where point equal to x equal to 10, y equal to 20, this can be called as here object. So this is containing here two different values. One is x coordinate, other one is y coordinate. Such things you can call as here object type of data or complex type of data. Okay, whenever something is not a number, it is called as a nan. If it is string, if you try to do some arithmetic operation, in that case, it says it as a nan there. So these are the types of data available with the JavaScript. Numeric, string, date, Boolean, and object type of data. Okay, numeric type of data, string type of data, date type of data, Boolean type of data, and object type of data. numeric, string, date, and boolean, they can be called as here primitive type of data. Okay, numeric, string, and boolean, you can call them as primitive type of data. That means they are primitives, they are available by default in the language. Whereas object type of data, object is basically instantiation of the class. When you instantiate a class, you get the object. Okay, a class is nothing but formal declaration of the object. Like that, we have definition for class and object. Okay, so these are the types of data available within the JavaScript. These are the types of data available: numeric, string, date, boolean, object. Okay, numeric can be either told absolute or approximate. When we talk about absolute, 10 is absolute number, 30 is absolute, 100 is absolute. But when you take 10 by 3, it's not absolute. 10 by 3, when you try to divide 10 with 3, you get 3.333, something like that, that never ends. But when needed, you need to truncate some data after decimal point, then you can take that. So that's why we call it as approximate data, but not absolute data. Similarly, we have here string type of data. Either you can put characters in single quote or in double quote. That is called as string type of data. That can include even alphabets, digits. Okay, even special characters you can put within the double quotes or in single quote. That you can treat as a string. Next one is date type of data. When you talk about date type of data, in that you have various components like year component, month component, day component. Similarly, hour component, minute component, and second component, all of them are available. So this is complex type of data structure. So we call it as date. So date is here complex type of structure. So in that you have independent components like year you have in that, month you have in that, day you have in that. Similarly, you have hours, minutes, and seconds. So with them, we create the date object. Date is also predefined within the JavaScript. Similarly, Boolean. Boolean is nothing but a true or false value. Okay, a true value or false value you can represent using Boolean type of data. And other type of data is here what? Object. Object is going to be something like complex only, but object is normally instantiation of the class, or a class is nothing but formal declaration of object. In JavaScript, you can declare an object like this, where point equal to, you can assign straight away x equal to 10 and y equal to 20. Even this is called as associated array sometimes. Okay, this is called as here associated array. It is different from normal array because you have here key value pairs. This is key and this is value. So like this, you can have the objects as well. So these are the types of objects, types of data available with the JavaScript. Okay, now try to use this simple JavaScript with our HTML page. Now let me create here some page. Okay, so here I want to put something first. Input, enter your age. Okay, enter your age. So this is input. Then what I do, type equal to text. Then ID equal to here, ID is required. ID is nothing but variable name, age. Name is required when you are submitting to server. That means to server side, when you are submitting data, name is required. But if you want to, in the same web page, if you want to access using JavaScript, ID is required. Without ID, you can't access that. Okay, then here, I don't put anything, just I close this here. Then I go with the BR tag. After that, I define here one span ID equal to here MSG. Okay, then here I close this span. This is a container tag. Then after that, again I go with BR. Then I keep a button here. So just what I do, button ID equal to here btn process, something I give here, process. On click, when I click on this particular thing, something should happen. These are called as events. On click equal to process, okay, evaluate, something like this. I create a function. So with that function, I'm going to be evaluating. So this is what exactly a button. Here, okay, find, like this, I put some text. Now for this, I should write code. When you look at this, this is what HTML element, but when we click on this button, it has to execute some JavaScript code. So that code we have to write in the script part. Okay, so these we understood, so we don't require now. I'm going to comment these things. I come to this point, up to this point, I comment this. Then I would like to define here some script here, some JavaScript I want to define here. So how to define JavaScript using, like I want to define a function. I define a function like this function followed by here, evaluate. Okay, here inside this, I write some code for that. So what I want to do exactly, we enter a person's age. Okay, we enter a person's age. When the person age is greater than or equal to 21, in that case, the person is adult. Otherwise, he's actually like non-adult. Like that, we need to print here. We need to print whether the person, if the person is attaining an age of 21 or more than 21, in that case, person is adult. Otherwise, that person is not adult, and we have to show in this message part. Okay, in this message part, we have to show it. So for that purpose, I'm writing here a function called evaluate. Okay, when I click on the button, this function should trigger, and here we should get appropriate message. Okay, first of all, you need to get the value from this input here using JavaScript. So let us declare here var my age equal to. So how to get hold of this particular, how to get hold of this element and how to retrieve the value from that. So for that purpose, we have here a mechanism called document dot get element by ID. Okay, get element by ID. So here followed by what is the ID I have here, age. Okay, then dot value. Whatever value you have in that, you can retrieve like this. So where my age equal to document dot get element by ID age dot value. So this is going to retrieve whatever value you have in the input text box, whatever we typed. But whatever we type from there is going to be in the string format. We need to convert into number, because in the text input, whatever you type, it's not going to be like a number. It is going to be string, even though you enter digits. Even if you enter 1, 2, 3, so that is also going to be string. We need to convert that into number. So therefore, here I write var age equal to, I need to parse that, parse int. With the help of the parse int, I can convert that into here integer. It is what my age. I can put like this, my age. Then here I declare one more thing, where ms equal to, I want to here find out whether the person is an adult or not. So what I do here, I write here a ternary operator like this. So age greater than or equal to 21, it is going to be returning here adult. Otherwise, okay, otherwise you can say it as non-adult. Like this, I am going to return a value in this manner. Okay, so this is called as a question mark operator or ternary operator. We discuss about operators later on, but right now, this is called as a ternary operator. With the help of that, if the given age is greater than or equal to 21, it returns adult. Otherwise, it's going to be returning non-adult. Okay, next, whatever value I'm getting, I need to show in this span here. In this particular area, I have to show it. So for that purpose, again, I go with this document dot get element by ID. Okay, what is the ID? Here it is, the ID is MSG. Okay, ID is here, MSG, then followed by here, dot, here, dot, then this is here, inner text. Inner text, here I should assign the data, whatever I got there. I'm assigning it as MS. Okay, like this, I have written a function. So this function is going to be getting executed when I click on the button here. Okay, so this is called as here interaction. When I click on the button, this particular JavaScript code is going to be getting executed. Evaluate function we are going to call upon clicking on the button. Now let us render this. We got like this page, enter input, enter your age. I enter some 17, click on the find. So what is happening in that case? When I click on the find, nothing is happening here. Okay, it is not printing anything in the span here. So if you go with the span ID equal to MSG, okay, this is what get element by ID, then dot inner text equal to MS, I'm taking that. So let me go to this point and here, try to print here the MS, whatever we are getting, try to print in that case. Okay, so once again, let me run this here. I enter 17, 15 I enter, then click on the find. When I click on the find, it's showing some error. Where is the error here? Okay. Evaluate on document 2, arguments required, but only 0 present, it says. Whenever you come here, okay. So exactly this is evaluate. Spelling is correct here. Okay. When I go with this, when I click on this, this function must be getting executed. This function must be getting executed here in this case. So it is showing some error. Why it is showing? Let us see. ID is here age, ID is MSG here. When I click on this particular thing, it should be evaluating, or else we try to go with some other name. Okay. We try to put some different name. Find adult. The function name can be find adult. Same thing we put here. Okay. Find adult. Function name can be something like this here. Then with this, we try to print. Okay, so even here, we try to print like alert, followed by here, my age. Okay, here, my age. I am trying to print my age there. So after that, once again, we try to run this. With the script, everything is correct. Okay, I have defined function. Function is getting ended here, starting, and this is ending here. Okay, value we take, it's going to print it. Now, once again, see here what happens in this case here. Enter some 13, click on the find. It says 13 here. Okay, non-adult. But what is happening here? It should print here non-adult, which is getting printed. You can see here, non-adult is getting printed in this case. Okay, non-adult is actually getting printed in this case. Earlier, I used evaluate function, which is predefined in the JavaScript. Because of that, we have problem. Now, function name is what here? Find adult. First thing, what we do, we are retrieving value from the given input. This is the input box. From the input box, we are retrieving age. Okay, I have written where my age equal to document.getElementBy ID, age.value. Whatever value we entered in the text box, we are retrieving and putting in the my age. Then we are printing. After that, I'm converting that my age into here number. Earlier that was string. You can see what type of data it is. My age. Okay, type of, you type here followed by my age. It is going to print it as string. Okay, so the string I'm converting into number here using parse int. Parse int can convert a number into a string into number. I'm getting number. So once I get number, I can perform this kind of operation here. If age greater than or equal to 21, it's adult, otherwise non-adult. And that I'm showing here in the span. If you look at this, span element is here. We have span element here. So in the span element in between these two, I'm trying to show it. So again, here, run this. So this time I go with the 22. Click on the find here. When you click on the find, it says first what I entered is string. Okay. Then it says adult. You can see the adult here in this case. It is converting. It is saying that 22, a person's age is when 22, it is adult. When it is less than 18, in that case, it's non-adult, like that it's printing. So using JavaScript, I could make this interactive. Without JavaScript, you can't do that. So using JavaScript, I could make this as interactive web page. What is happening in this case? I created some interface. In this, I have a input element. Into that, I can enter some age. But whatever you enter is going to be in the string format. Remember always, whenever you enter something in the text box, it is going to be always like a string only. So string means what? Which you have in the single quotes or in double quotes, that can be called a string. So that string you need to convert it to number to process it. Okay, you cannot compare a string with non-string. Here this is 21, and if my age is actually string, if you try to compare a string with non-string, that is error. So that's why we need to convert to here into the number. So we are converting into integer using parse int. Parse int my age is going to give you here age as number. Then I compare here age greater than or equal to 21, adult, otherwise non-adult. It is coming into some variable called ms. Then I'm printing the ms. Similarly, I'm assigning to here inner text. Okay, with the div as well as with the span, we have to use inner text. But when you go work with the elements like text box, okay, so or else you have radio button or checkbox, in that case, you have to use the value. But here, this is what inner text, because it is a container. you are trying to put inside the container can contain either HTML text, HTML, or it can contain pure text. Okay, either HTML you can have in that, or you can have pure text. So since I'm assigning pure text, I'm using here inner text property. With the help of that, I'm assigning. So here when I click on the button, it is finding the age and showing on the screen for us in this way. This part we are manipulating with the help of the document object model of the JavaScript. Okay, so on top of the in this hierarchy, we have a document. In the document, you have various elements. You can manipulate the elements here. Document meaning is what here? HTML document. In that every element you can identify using ID. Here we have an ID. If you look at this, you have an ID here. With the help of the ID, you can manipulate that. Okay, when you want to manipulate something, in that case, you can use the ID. So using ID, you can do it. ID is nothing but it is actually variable name. You can assume like variable name. So with the help of that, we are getting hold of the object here, or we are getting hold of the element. Then we are retrieving value from this element. Then later on, what we do, we manipulate here through the code. We are trying to compare with some other data here. With 21, we are comparing. Whatever result we are getting, we are trying to assign to here some other element here. So the span we are trying to assign. So here in this manner, JavaScript is working for us. JavaScript is working in this manner. So with the help of this, whether the given person is an adult or not, I can find. Okay, so using this particular JavaScript, here function name is what? Find adult. You can create functions, small functions in JavaScript using function keyword followed by here function name. Then you should have the starting parenthesis and starting curly bracket and closing curly bracket. Inside this, whatever code you want to write, you can write. And this is called as your function block. And this is called as your function header. Up to this, we call it as function header. From here to here, this is called as function block. Inside the block, you can write the code. Okay. So here using var keyword, you can declare a variable. Even you can use let keyword. With the help of let also, you can declare a variable, or using var also, you can declare a variable. So like this, we have written a simple function. Upon clicking on the button, this function is getting executed. So it is returning whether the person is an adult or non-adult. Like this piece of code is working. Do you have any questions? Akshita, you have any questions?
Sir, how to debug this, sir? So is there any like how we can debug this? Suppose, yeah.
You can keep a breakpoint, and with help of that, you can debug. Okay, so debugging is available. You can start even debugging this. Okay, so but for the different mechanism, we see in the next session how to like debug this particular thing. You can put a breakpoint and you can debug one by one what is happening exactly in that case. In the console
with
also
the
in
help
the
of
bottom.
F10, right? Sir?
Yes. Using F10, you can be line by line. You can see what is happening in that. Okay, it's a different mechanism. As we progress, we can see all those things. But today I have shown you how to create a simple function. With the help of that, when you click on the button, how it is manipulating the data. Manipulation means what? You have age. The age actually you are comparing with 21. Depending on the data available with the age, either it is adult or non-adult you are getting. So like this, you can do here. So it's a simple code I have written within the HTML page. And we have seen in this case, like alert dialog, confirm dialog, prompt dialog, also what types of data you have. And one more thing, what we have seen here, console.log. With the help of that, how you can print on the console. Console you can open using developer tools, and you can see what you are printing. Whatever is getting printed, you can see here with the console. Similarly, we have seen how type of is working also, we understood here. With the help of the type of what type of data it is, you can find. Okay. Any other questions?
Sir, why we used inner text of MS?
Yes. So
in document.
Yeah, this one you have a span. Okay. Span and div are what basically they are containers. They can contain other HTML or other simple text. Okay. Whereas if you go with the input text box, you can have only one value in that. You can't have any HTML inside that. But if you look at span, inside this you can have other span or other kind of like HTML elements. So that's why either you can use inner text or inner HTML. Either you can put inside this HTML content or you can put the text. So that's why we use it as inner text. Span cannot straight away contain any value. Span is basically container for other elements. Okay, span cannot contain simply any value. It can contain text, but it can't hold actually any value. So we don't have any value attribute for this. Whereas if you take the input, in the case of input, it can contain value. because that's an independent, widget you can think, or a control you can think, in that you can contain some text. But as far as the span is concerned, so this is basically made for container. It can contain other text or it can contain other HTML elements. Same thing with the div. So that's why what we do here, we use either inner text or inner HTML. Okay, you can go with inner text or inner HTML. Here even I can put some inner HTML inside this. For example, see here, where followed by, like here in this case, I can go with the another span. I'll be using here one more span inside this. Okay, then this is sample. Then followed by here, again I go with the span. Like this, I can create here span element. Where SP I put here, SP equal to like this. Then I'm trying to assign this to the existing span on the top. Okay, document.get element by ID here. Then I put inner HTML. Okay, so with IntelliSense, I can select easily inner HTML. This equal to, I can go with the AP in this case. Just I put here AP. What happens now? See, this AP is what? This is the HTML element. Okay, so either you can put pure text or you can go with the HTML element as well. I'm trying to assign both the things in this case. Text is available as well as other HTML content also I can put inside this, because this is a container. Now when I run this here, I enter this time some 12, click on the find. So sample is coming, but sample you are getting in this case, it's overwriting. Okay, it is overwriting inside this. So instead of that, I go here with the other span. Okay, I just remove here. One more span I would like to put here. Okay, inside this, either span or some other thing I can put here. Okay, so I just go with a label. I'll keep some label here. Label or, okay. So here I go with the input. Type equal to, here it is, text. Okay, type equal to text I can have here. Then followed by here ID equal to something like my text, my txt. I can put like this. Okay, then I can close this way. So this particular part I want to embed within the given span. So therefore, I come to this part, declare here like where this is some AP equal to, in this way I put. Okay, now this is nothing but HTML. When I assign this, inside this you have a text box. You have a text box inside that now. I enter 12, then click on the find. You have a text box here. It is overwriting that particular thing. Whatever text you had earlier, it is being overwritten. Okay, it's being overwritten. But inside this you can assign now using the what exactly, this is my text. Now if you want to assign the value, you can assign in this manner. Okay, but that is dynamically typed. Let us see whether that's possible or not. Go to this point, and here what exactly the ID for that we have. If you come down, you may have ID. So what is the ID? I'm not having any ID here in this case. I don't have an ID because dynamically created this is. Any of my text is available. Just try to assign using my text. What happens? Let us see here. Okay, my txt dot inner text equal to, I'm using MS. So inside the text box, whether that is possible or not, let us see here. Okay, I put 23, then click on the find. It is not available. You can't access because this is created dynamically for us. Okay, dynamically this is created, because of that we can't access. So either you can go with the inner HTML or inner text. When you go with the inner text, the text is getting actually in that case. So when you go with the inner HTML, you can put the HTML content. Here you are keeping the HTML content. So this will be useful when you create some document dynamically. When you're creating something dynamically, it will be useful. But whatever we created here are nothing but static. Okay, so since static, if it is static, it is static actually. That's why you can assign straight away value. When you create a document, this ID was not available. Okay, here dynamically we are trying to make this, so you can't assign here with the my text. So that's why if you experiment like this, it will not be possible. Instead of that, if you go here with the like MSG, then followed by my text, this time it should work for us. Okay, so it's giving error. AP is not defined, it says. AP is not defined. Okay, because I have removed that. AP is fine here. So this is MSG. I put, then try to assign the MS here in this. It is replacing actually. If you go with the inner HTML, that is getting assigned. When you go with the inner text, what is happening in that case? It is replacing with the inner HTML there. So either inner HTML or inner text you can use. But whenever you want to create some documentary, I mean, dynamically, in such case, you have to use the inner HTML. Okay, using inner HTML dynamically you can create. Inside this, suppose you want to create some other form or something, in such case you can use it. I want to put one more text box here. Okay, or I want to go with some button. In that case, you can use. So here it is like button followed by like sample. Button name is here. Then again, I close some button. Okay, then programmatically you need to handle that. Now I just want to comment this. I comment this, then here in this case, you have a text box followed by button in that. Okay, I enter something like 12 here. You can have both things, text as well as button. When you want to create some here document, inner document dynamically, in such case, you can use the inner HTML. Inner text meaning is for just you are assigning text to that. You can embed text inside that. So like this, you can use the inner HTML or inner text, depending on the requirement. So when you create page at the time, rest of the elements may not be available. Dynamically, you may have to create. In such case, you can use the inner HTML if you want to put more and more elements in the given container. Like span or div, if you want to put more such elements, you can go with the inner HTML. But if you want to assign simple text, you can go with the inner text.
Inner text.
Yeah. So like that, you can be using them. So all these are basically advanced. As you practice more and more, you understand them. But today I'm showing simple things like how JavaScript is working. Okay, so but we are not going to write pure JavaScript for that purpose. We can use like jQuery, or you can use React or Angular, because they are going to simplify your things. If you try to write with JavaScript, it takes a lot of time and it's highly error prone. Okay, you need to know the basics of JavaScript, but each and everything, if you try to write from scratch, it takes a lot of time. So depending on the pure JavaScript, you can use jQuery or React or Angular or Vue.js. With that, very quickly you can develop, because they have predefined libraries. With the help of that, you can manipulate. But you need to know the core JavaScript. That is important. Okay. Yes. So any other questions?
When we use print like C instead of console.
Yes. Print you cannot use here. You can't use print. You can use alert. Print is not available here. You need to use console. Console comes here in this area. Okay. You can see this is developer tools. You have a console here. This is going to be getting printed for us. It is for debugging purpose. You can debug using console. What is happening, you can find here. So if you go with alert, every time you need to dismiss the dialog boxes. So instead of that, you can just go with the console. On the console, you can print. Otherwise, you get a dialog here. You need to dismiss. Again, another dialog comes. You need to dismiss. So this is going to be really boring process. Okay, instead of that, you can see in the console what is happening, what value we are getting here.
Okay.
So suppose instead of going with this alert, if you go with the console.log, you don't have those dialog boxes. They are not going to disturb you. Okay, here also similarly, you go with the console.log. It's not going to disturb you much. So in this case, the execution also not going to, it's not going to be coming to halt. It executes everything. Then in the console, you can see what you want to see in that. Now go with the 23, click on the find. So here you can find two info. Okay, two info, one is string, other one is adult. It's printing for us. So like this, you can use the console rather than using the alert. Alert whenever you want to inform user about something when your application is running. In that case, you can use adult. Okay, every time they cannot go to console and they cannot see, but you have to use limited dialogues, such dialogues. Okay, suppose you are uploading some file. File uploading is completed. In that case, you can show some alert. File uploading is completed. Okay, similarly, you're trying to change something. So in that case, you can go with the confirm, whether you want to continue or not. If you want to continue, you can go with yes, otherwise you can go with no, or else you can go with okay or cancel. Like that, you can use them. And when you want to input something from keyboard, in that case, you can use prompt. With the help of that, you can input. You have 3 dialog boxes: alert, console, confirm, and one more thing is prompt. With that, you can manipulate the dialog boxes. Depending on the requirement, you have to choose them. Okay, so you will be using them judiciously as you get more and more experience, as you practice more and more. In the beginning, there is going to be a little confusion, but as you practice more and more, definitely you feel, I mean, first of all, you get familiarized with them, then you can be using them perfectly. Okay, so practice is required for all these things. So tomorrow further we discuss about like what are the operators you have in the JavaScript. Okay, then how to work with the date and time, how to display a digital clock, something I can show you tomorrow. So in the next session, we do that. Any other questions, please?
I have a question.
Yes.
So how we are like handling the exceptions, like if the user
Exceptions.
is yes exceptions, but
You
in the
can
backend,
use
like we
try
have a
catch
try
block.
catch block, right?
Yes, yes.
Oh,
Here
here
also
also.
you can use try catch block. Suppose your question is parse int. This can throw exception. When it can throw exception, if I enter some ABC, in that case, it can't parse. Okay, let me refresh this again. Try to enter here ABC. What happens in such cases? It is basically nothing but exception only. Okay, it's not showing like exception, but this can't convert ABC into that particular thing. In such case, you can go with the try catch block. With the help of try catch block, you can do it. So here you go with the try, then you put like this here, then catch. Okay, you can write here exception. Okay, you can just type here exception. Then here you can handle it. And finally, also you can have in this, in the same way, in the C, C++, Java, C#, how you handle, in the same manner, we can handle the exceptions. Try, catch, finally. There is one more construct with the help of that easily you can handle. In the next session, we discuss about the another way of handling the try catch block. Okay, try you have, catch you have, finally you have. So basically, whenever you have any runtime errors, we use this mechanism. Errors can be like when you develop application at the time, that can be error, or when you're running application at the time, that can be error, or you have sometimes fatal errors. Fatal errors are something like that. There may not be enough space in the stack. There may not be enough space in the heap. Heap meaning is what? When you create objects dynamically, that requires more and more memory. So computer allocates some memory for that. When we exceed that memory, in that case, that is called as heap memory. Similarly, when you are nesting functions, one function is calling another function continuously. In such case, it uses stack frame. Even for stack frame, also certain memory is allocated. So when you cross that limit, what happens? It's actually stack memory exception you get. So they are fatal errors. In such case, you need to reset computer. You need to restart computer. But other types of errors, when you code at the time you get errors, they are called as development time errors. You can easily, solve those things. But errors, whatever you get in the runtime, when you develop application, when you compile at the time, everything is perfect. But whenever you're running application at the time, you may get errors. Like here, for example, take parse int. If I try to enter here some ABC, it can't convert to number. Correct? When you try to convert to number, it can't convert to number. It can convert only when you have digits here. Something like 100 when you have, in that case, you can convert to number. But when you have ABC, this can't be converted. So this is called as exception. It's called as actually runtime exception that you need to handle with help of the try catch block here. Try to execute some piece of code. If it is unable to execute that, it comes to catch part, and finally part, here you are going to handle. So with that, what happens? Your system will not be coming into grinding halt. It will not come to grinding halt. So that way you can use the try catch block basically. With the help of the try, you try to execute some piece of code. If it is unable to execute, then it throws exception, and whether it is successfully executing or throwing exception, always it comes to finally. If you have to perform here cleanup operations. Suppose you open a file. Okay, you have opened a file. Normally, what happens if an operation is successful here, you may close your file. But due to some reason, operation is not successful. File is going to be kept open like that only. So that's why file closing you can put in the finally block. So like this, you can use the try, catch, and finally. The finally, you are going to clean the resources. Whatever resources you are consuming, you may close them or you may clean the resources with the help of the finally block. So this is called a try catch finally block. we discuss more and more about in the next sessions. So, I mean, depending on the context, we come into all these discussions. Okay, so this is called as here exception handling. JavaScript also supports exception handling. Okay, so we continue in the next session.